Hoy there, it's SkywardShield. This is football talks technically, but it's really just me. I haven't actually told Bill about this, but I don't think he'll mind. Right now, I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm certain you've heard of mock drafts, where usually NFL analysts and primarily former scouts will try to predict how the draft will go. I mean, trying to get them all right is like trying to get a perfect bracket in March Madness. But this will be my first one. I'm gonna try to have a second one right before the draft, though it'll probably not be connected to actual football talks when Bill is here because I don't want to waste his time talking about all 32 or in this case 31 because the Patriots lost their pick because Roger Goodell wants other teams to win because the Patriots are that good. Anyway, but that's another rant for another day. Today I'm not gonna be long. I'm gonna try to make this 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna try to explain a little bit as to why each player goes where. And I'm kind of doing this as I go. So here's a mock draft I'll be making in the process. Now you're only gonna be seeing a team and their team needs, and that's all you're gonna be getting from me. So anyway, enough talk. I think you'll understand as we go. Let's get started. First round, the Titans. Now, if only I could if I could have ways to show off trading, but I can't, because here's what I would want the Cowboys to do. Actually, I would like if the Cowboys could trade up first and get a quarterback, if they really wanted to, but I don't think they will. I think they know the Browns are the only one that's going to get a quarterback. The Titans don't need one. The Chargers, maybe if they want to pull a Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, because, Phillip Rivers is getting old. But I will say, if they did do this, here's how I think it would work. The Cowboys would give up this pick and maybe a second or third round pick next year, as well as their right guard, Ronald Leary. Because he's good, but he's starting to get up there in age. He still has a good amount of energy in the tank still. So the Titans wouldn't necessarily, we're taking his waning years. Because, yes, he is kind of waning now, but he's still good. And the Cowboys have La'el Collins, so they're sacrificing a bit of depth, but their line will still be great, because La'el Collins can be shifted anywhere, really. So, with that in mind, if that went through, I would have the Cowboys taking Jared Goff in the first round. But since I can't do that, that's just one thing. That's just a trade possibility. That's the only major trade I could see happening. I don't know if it happened now or at the actual draft, but I think the Titans would go for it because of these are the reasons. It's not that far of a difference. So you can still go for, hopefully, you still have the options like Miles Jack, Jalen Ramsey, or Laramie Tunsil. You'll probably have one of them. You should at least have one of them. So, and right now, RG3 isn't going to be their savior. I don't think he will be. But, at the very least, you don't want to put your quarterback right at the get-go. You want to use RG3 as much as you can. Keep whoever they draft safe. So, in this case, it'd probably be Carson Wentz if the Cowboys got Jared Goff. Because I think Jared Goff would fit the Cowboys scheme much better than Carson Wentz. Though, whoever they took, I wouldn't mind as much. I'd prefer Goff, because I saw him in his final year in college, and oh boy, he is a gunslinger. He is exactly what the Cowboys want, more so than Carson Wentz. But anyway, since I can't do trades here, we'll have to go in the normal way, assuming no trades happen. If I can find a way to make that work, then sure. But anyway, let's get started. Actual way, with no trades in mind. I'll probably mention this trade again in actual football talks with Bill, so I can hear his thoughts. But anyway, so round one, for the first overall pick, I have the Titans getting Laramie Tunsil. They have a lot of options. They need a lot of help because you know how much I've been doubting and putting down the Titans, or as I like to call them, the Titoons, for not having anyone to having any talent. Now they're getting some talent. They took Houston, one of Houston's guards, their tackles. I think it was Chris Myers, which I shame him for. We really needed Chris Myers and Brandon Brooks, but you know what? I did kind of get pissed off at Brandon Brooks anyway, so it's fine. But at least, not Chris Myers, he retired. I'm thinking of Ben Jones. All right. Anyway, so yeah, the center for the former center went to the Titans, so they're getting line help, and they would like more line help because if they can they could potentially turn their one of the worst offensive lines into at least above above the halfway point in terms of good lines and bad lines. So Laramie Tunsil is really good, and I think the other reason why they would get him is because he's right tackle. Who would they be facing on the right? J.J. Watt. You've got to deal with Watt twice a year. To me, even trying to get rid of my anti-Titans bias, I think it makes sense that they get Tunsil because you will protect Mariota. You've got to protect your franchise because if he gets hurt again and again, you'll have another RG3 on your hands who just kept getting hurt too much, and by the time he could play, he got too rattled up to do anything. Though RG3 had all other problems like his personality, but so protect himself from Watt and other defensive nightmares that you might run into along the way, and you're set. Of course, it would also help other players like DeMarco Murray, but I think DeMarco Murray is going to be a bust because the Titans, from what they said, aren't using him that well. Aren't going to be using him the way they intend him to be. Because he's meant to run down the eye, which is what the Cowboys did, and the Cowboys utilized him well, almost too much, in fact. But anyway, so, round 2, the Browns would go up, and they would select Carson Wentz. Now, you could say him or Goff either way, but I think Carson Wentz fits their scheme more, at least with how Hugh Jackson is. I think Hugh Jackson has more of an interest in Carson Wentz than Jared Goff, but if it's not one, it's the other. And honestly, the 49ers are going to be begging for that. For spoiler alert, the 49ers are getting Goff, but we'll get there in a minute. The Browns need so much help, but if they don't get a quarterback now, Browns fans and NFL critics or pundits don't scrutinize them for it because just like the Titans, they have lost all the to be fair, the Titans had no talent from the start. The Browns had some, but they left. They're all gone. They went other places like Jacksonville or Atlanta. So their great line is just shattered now. And RG3 to me is nothing more than a bodyguard, or not a bodyguard. He's kind of like the substitute meant to take all the hits and at the same time let Carson Wentz train in the background, get used to the Brown system, and hopefully he won't take too much damage when he has to inevitably come out at the second half of the season. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm predicting the Browns to be the first round pick next year. But yeah, at least that's what I think. Anyway, so yeah, the Browns need help everywhere. They need help in a lot of places. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on them too. They're the other least talented team. These 2 teams are the least talented. The only other ones I can see in terms of least talent is the Dolphins. And kind of the Bears, but the Bears a lot of their players left, and they'll let some of them go. You let Martellus Bennett go to the Patriots, he's gonna make you pay for that, and you let Matt Forte go to the Jets, which is a good move because Brandon Marshall wanted him there and he got what he wanted. But anyway, 3rd round, the Chargers. Here's one I think they'll like a lot. They need help. It says defensive line, safety, and tight end, but really the whole defense needs help. The offense, I think, can manage if Melvin Gordon can get his act together. So with that in mind, I have them taking Miles Jack, outside linebacker. He is one of the actual few players who can start from the beginning. And quite frankly, I don't know if he'll be quite the difference maker in his first year again in the Chargers. But I think he's going to be the first step in making a good enough defense to help the offense sustain itself. Because I think that was half the problem with the Chargers, aside from the injury bugs plaguing their offense. There are a few teams here who don't deserve to be here only because of injury-ridden bugs, which were it was the Chargers, the Ravens, and I want to say... there's another team, but I forget who they are. But yeah, but for sure it's the Chargers and the Ravens. And I hate the Ravens, and I said in the podcast, even I didn't want to wish this much suffering on them because they lost everybody. It's like the whole first team, all gone. But anyway, so moving on to the Cowboys. Now you've heard me mention the Cowboys getting a quarterback via trade. Carson Wentz is gone, so they could still get Jared Goff. But I don't think they are, because here's the player I think fits them so hard. But the only problem, everyone says Ezekiel Elliott, but I'm thinking no, because you have Lance Dunbar, you have Darren McFadden, who had a great year last year, and you have now Alfred Morris. They're gonna be doing something like Houston, where they have multiple running backs. Or Houston did last year. It had multiple running backs to try to be effective, and I think that works because different running backs have different styles. That's going to change how the quarterback or change how the defense has to react to it. So this guy, and you know what I've been saying about the Cowboys, they have the worst cornerback group in the entire league. And with that said, you could easily rise up again with drafting another one in Jalen Ramsey. This guy can play corner. This guy can play safety. This guy is perhaps the one I can guarantee you can start anytime. He is the most starter ready, and he's the most versatile. He can do a lot of things, and he's a game changer. I like him, and I really want him to go to the Cowboys. If anything, if the Cowboys did the trade and took Ramsey first round, I'd do it. But really, you only trade to the first round when you want a quarterback. That's kind of like the silent rule of the draft. So anyway, with that said, the Jaguars are up next. They need help in some line depth, and they need help with the defense. So, with that said, who would they go for? Because it's kind of a problem for them, but I think that they're going to be taking, because maybe it's a little too high to trade. If I could, I would see the 49ers trade up a bit, though I don't think they would need to. I would see the 49ers or the Eagles try to trade up and make sure they get the player, because this happened before. Typically a team, like say the 49ers and the Eagles, like how last year the Texans and the Chargers, one right after the other, wanted a running back, and what the Chargers did, they traded with the 49ers, who were above the Texans, to get Melvin Gordon, which saved the Texans, in my opinion, because they got Kevin Johnson, who was really good. But so I could see the Eagles trying to trade with the Ravens to get Jared Goff away from the 49ers, because I could see them taking a quarterback. I mean, it's not on the team needs, but I could see them doing it. So with that in mind, I could see the 49ers trading up with the Jaguars to take Jared Goff. So let's just put that there. I know I broke my own rules there, but yeah. So I think Goff would go to the 49ers. They need a lot of help as well. They are also the least talented team, but that's the organization's fault, because I shamed the 49ers for casting out Harbaugh and make Kaepernick drop immensely, which he was already dropping, but at least you had the best coach we've seen in a while on the West Coast. So you cast him out, and all the players left. Because no, you got rid of our coach. We love this guy, and then you castrate or you ostracize what's his name? I forgot the ex the ex coach for the 49ers. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. So this team is chaos right now, and Goff, don't know if he could save it. I'd like for him to, because I want Goff to be successful, but I still hate the 49ers. Anyway, so the Jaguars will be getting Leonard Floyd. They need a linebacker to go along with Dante Fowler, and Dante Fowler got hurt last year, so this could help them nicely. I can't see any good centers that are available this early, so they could probably go for a center in the next round. In fact, expect their draft to be very defense oriented, because that's their biggest problem right now. Now here's a good one. The Ravens, who need a lot of lineman help. I see them actually getting some help, though they could use defense and primarily corner. I think they'll be fine. In fact, probably in another mock draft, I'll have them taking Vernon Hargreaves, but for now, I have them getting Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle, because protect your quarterback, help the running backs too. So Ronnie Stanley going to the Ravens, who I pity them now, but you know what? I'm gonna probably hate them next year, because I don't think they're gonna rebound. Like, oh, they're a big team now. They're gonna take over. They're gonna be a challenger. They're gonna have 3 AFC North teams. No. In fact, I don't even know if the Bengals can do it again. But then again, they proved me wrong last year. But anyway, the Eagles, they need help with running back and linemen. I think they need help in defense. But is there a running back to be had? Yes, there is, and that is Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to have a big spark on offense now in Ezekiel Elliott. This guy is a good runner. And you've heard the same song and dance before, so I don't think I need to go into too much detail. But with the loss of Murray, and then you still have Ryan Matthews, I think he left. I don't know. Now, if he's there, you have him and Ezekiel Elliott, good 1-2 punch. And if you just have Ezekiel Elliott, okay, you've got your new bell cow. Next one, the Buccaneers. They need help on defense, in my opinion, because their line was one of the worst 2 years ago. Now it's become okay. You saw, Jameis Winston do some pretty good work at the beginning of the year, though he burned out at the end. But I'm not sure why. I don't get what happened at the end. But anyway, so here's what I got them getting. I have Vernon Hargreaves going to the Buccaneers. Here's a good corner for them. He's going to do them wonders because they need help with the secondary, and there's not really many good safeties. I haven't seen, I'll be honest, in my past couple of years of paying attention to the draft, I haven't seen big safeties in the first round. I mean, maybe at the very end where let's say the Patriots or the Seahawks could have got one, but I haven't seen one early to even mid first round. I don't know if that's a thing that's how they rate them. Safeties are not as appreciated. I don't know. You might be surprised because DeForest Buckner and Joey Bosa haven't gone yet, but don't worry, they'll be going soon. In fact, the Giants are up next. I actually have them taking. Apparently, they say they need help with wide receiver and offensive lineman. I think they'll be fine. I actually see them getting DeForest Buckner right now, actually, because they need help with defensive ends for the sake of depth. Because honestly, you saw them draft a bunch of defense, so it wouldn't be surprising if they tried to get Ezekiel Elliott if he was there, maybe trade up. But here's the thing: the defensive players they got could be a big bust. I guarantee you, at least one of them is going to be bad. And I don't know if everyone's pointing to JPP. I think he'll do okay, that he'll stay, get a 2-year contract out of that. Okay, you did good this year, we'll get you 2 years, and if he does those 2 years, okay, 3 years, and so on and so forth. So, I don't know who it'll be, but something's telling me they're going to draft DeForest Buckner out of just as a safe bet, and kind of to counter Ezekiel Elliott with going to the Eagles, because with that in mind, oh boy, they need to stop the run game, because you have the Cowboys with 3 good running backs. The Washington football team, I don't even know if they need a running back, honestly. But I don't even think they'll have one by that time. So, the Bears. The Bears need help with the line, with defense mainly. But they could use a linebacker. I have them getting Reggie Ragland. They need more help with outside linebackers, but I think maybe they'll convert Reggie Ragland into an outside linebacker if they can get away with that. And now here's one, the Saints. The Saints need help in defense immensely, and they're going to be getting Joey Bosa, because their defense is one of the worst. I mean, corners, they need help even more, but all the good corners are gone right now, so there's not much they could do. So with that in mind, next, the Dolphins need help everywhere too, because they are just as bad. Honestly, to be fair, it's because the organization is pretty bad. So, I have them getting an offensive lineman and Jack Conklin, excuse me. So he will be going to the Dolphins, though the Dolphins need help everywhere else. It's a start. The Dolphins are in a clear rebuilding phase, and if you want Ryan Tannehill to get good, you got to make the offensive line better so he has more time. The Raiders. Oh, the Raiders need help in a lot of places. I bet they wish they could get Reggie Ragland right now. To get a linebacker, they need a corner, because Charles Woodson is gone, and they need a linebacker because Justin Tuck is gone, so they'll be getting a linebacker in Jalen Smith. Outside linebacker, they may have to convert him to an inside, but I think they'll be fine because they need someone to help out Bruce Irvin. The Bruce Irvin will probably be helping Khalil Mack, but at least you have a linebacker to help out not the secondary, but what's in between there. I forget the words I'm looking for here. So, the Rams, we're about halfway through now. We're about to get past the halfway point. The Rams need a quarterback. I don't think they do, because they have... I actually believe in... you know how much I believe in Case Keenum. I think he's good. So, who will they be getting? I see the Rams getting Laquan Treadwell in Remember last year I hit them right on them getting Todd Gurley. It's like they're not gonna get Todd Gurley past 10. It's like he got him at 10. Well, now they're gonna get the Laquan Treadwell at 15. It's gonna be good for them because they need some offensive power. Their defense has never been in question. Their defense has been good, though I will say they could use some corners, but there's not many corners here. Now, speaking of corners, the Lions. Oh, I really want them to get a cornerback, but all the cornerbacks are gone, and they will have to wait till the second round to get one. The next best one is Eli Apple, who's round 2, and I can probably see them getting him. But alas, they can't get one because they're all gone. They needed some of these guys to last, but corners are in high demand this year, and there's just not enough talent to go around. So sadly for this mock draft, they're going to be missing them. But fear not, at the very least, you'll have someone else to help you out. Though maybe it's not what you expect. They're going to be getting defensive tackle A'Shawn Robinson because why? You still have what's his face? I'm forgetting his name. You know, the tackle they traded from the Ravens. They traded him, but he's older. But at the very least, you have A'Shawn Robinson come in to back him up, or like switch him out third down. He'll learn under him, maybe get a few techniques out of him. And when he retires, you have a great defensive tackle to replace them. So it's like you replace one behemoth with another. So for this situation, sadly, they're going to be getting not a corner, which is I've been advocating for them to get badly. Oh well. I mean, I would have said a wide receiver, but it'll be fine. So, next, the Falcons. They need help in defense as well. A lot of these next few teams, no, actually, the past teams and this is the last one this one and the Colts are the next one that need defense. Everyone else can work on offense. So, the Falcons will get Kevin Dodd, defensive end. What else can I say about the Falcons? Their offense is so close to being right. You saw it at the beginning be dynamic. It wrecked everyone in their way, and then they just collapsed so hard. Granted, they did knock down the Panthers, which ruined them from a perfect record. But, don't matter. It didn't matter that much. So, yeah. The Colts need help in everywhere. They need help in a lot of places. I see them getting offensive linemen, Cody Whitehair, because they need help with the line to protect Andrew Luck, because the whole reason they went to hell is because Andrew Luck kept getting beaten up. They played the Bills first, and then the Jets, who are ironically the next two teams to be drafting right now, and Andrew Luck was never the same. In fact, they're expecting to get a contract for him done by 4th of July, which is an oddly specific date. But I'm not sure how he's going to change. I think he'll be a little different. He's probably going to be throwing the ball a little quicker for his own safety now. But if you have a good lineman to protect him, then at the very least you can worry. But for now, no defense for the Colts, because the Colts are the epitome of a glass cannon offense. That's what they are. So, next, the Bills. Oh, the Bills need help in line. They need line depth, both offensive and defensive. But with that in mind, I have them actually getting a wide receiver. They will be getting Will Fuller in this one to complement Sammy Watkins, and Percy Harvin will be there, but I don't think he'll play at the beginning. If not, he won't last that long because he's very injury-ridden, and it's very weird for him. So, anyway, Will Fuller will do good, hopefully, for the Bills, because they need to get off the ground at some point, or else this is just like a stagnant team who can't do anything right. Okay, so next on the list we have the Jets. The Jets need help with the line. They could use a tight end, and they're actually going to be getting a tight end. I have them getting Henry Hunter to go along to help their offense. But here's the problem, though. They still don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he'll be going back, but that's the only thing I'm worried about, because you can't ride the Geno coaster again. No. You can't hope for Geno, and then I have another guy in the back who needs more time. I think next year you can debut him, but I think for now you gotta hope Fitzpatrick comes back. So this is the way, hey, Fitzpatrick, come to us. You're gonna be getting a little less money, but I can assure you it's gonna be worth it, because we could be a playoff team with this type of offense. Next, The Washington football team. The Washington football team will be getting Robert. I don't know if I could say his name right. I don't know if the N or the K is silent. So Robert Nemdi. I'm not going to bother saying it. So Robert is going to go to the Washington football team because for the same reason why the Giants got DeForest Buckner. They need to protect against the run because they're going to be playing, and I think they're going to be playing against some running heavy teams like the Cowboys and now the Eagles. Next, my team of the hour, the Houston Texans. Who are they going to be getting? Oh, quite simple, elementary, my dear Watson. Corey Coleman. This guy, if he didn't get hurt, I can assure you that this guy would have been going, he would be going to the Rams or some other team who could use a wide receiver. Why? This guy is for real. He is, and I'm going to read to you the overview of him. Dangerous, bottom line, that's in all caps, dangerous vertical talent with the ability to get over the top of defenders who fail to recognize his blazing quickness off the line of scrimmage. Coleman can get instant separation to create favorable passing windows and is one of the top playmakers in this draft. Coleman's issues with drops near the middle of the field should be a concern if teams see him as the next slot receiver due to his lack of size. Regardless, he can line up outside and win, and he offers immediate punt return help. So this guy, okay, Bill O'Brien said this, and I'm pretty sure every other coach will agree. Players who have special teams use are very important. They're very nice. So you already know this guy could at least be a punt returner. So he's a special teams player automatically. That's good. That should raise his stock more. But because of the injury bug he had, and the fact he's 5'11", but when he plays, a lot of people have been saying, oh, when you talk to him, he's just like, he's about my height. Like, I'm a little shorter than him, or I'm his height. But when he plays, it feels like you're going up against a 6'2" wide receiver, and he's got a very high vertical jump for a 5'11" guy. And right now, the Texans don't need help on defense. So like the Rams, they don't need help on defense. And I can't see them getting a lineman right now. They could use one, but they'll probably fix that in the second round. But, oh boy, Corey Coleman, the Texans have been watching this guy for a while. And they might even trade up, because the other team that could want him is the Vikings. And they're the only ones. I could see them trading up with the Jets for that, to take him away. But we'll have to wait and see. Because the Vikings need help with the wide receiver, which, speaking of them, I actually see them having to take Josh Doxson, which is funny, he got my name. They're going to be taking a wide receiver to help with Teddy Bridgewater and that offense. This whole offense is young, minus Adrian Peterson, who's getting older. Which, move out of the way, AP. Todd Gurley's going to be taking your place. Anyway, the Bengals. Oh, the Bengals. The only reason the linebacker there is up there because after what happened with Perfect to AB or Antonio Brown, not nice. So I have them getting Sheldon Rankins. They need to work on their line. I mean, a wide receiver would be nice, but what can you do? Next, the Steelers. The Steelers need help on defense. I'm going to be real with you. They are the other team, probably out of all these playoff teams that are left, they are the ones that need help on defense the most. The Packers, I don't know, they at least have Clay Matthews and Sam Shields. But the Steelers, do they have anyone iconic? Granted, the defense played better as it went on. But they really could use a corner. And I just don't see a good corner that's worth taking this early in the draft. Early but late in the first round. So I think it's a matter of best player available, and they're going to be taking nose tackle Andrew Billings to at least stop the run against other run teams, because they're going to be playing a few run-heavy teams this year, like the Cowboys or the Eagles. Yeah, they're playing the NFC East this year. The AFC North is, and I think that they will be playing the Texans will be playing the Steelers too, if I'm not mistaken. No, they might not actually. Anyway, No, wait, they're not. The Texans will be playing the Bengals. I thought the Steelers won the division. No, it was the Bengals. So yeah. Anyway, the Seahawks, Seattle Seahawks need help in line, all in the offensive line. So I think they have to bite the bullet and settle for it now. So they're going to be getting offensive linemen, LaRaven Clark, because after trading I forget his name. After trading their lineman to the Saints for Jimmy Graham, now they need to protect Russell Wilson. Though here's the weird thing: Russell Wilson played better when he was on the run, but sooner or later that's not going to work. Russell Wilson's probably going to be the best mobile quarterback in our generation, at least. So we were already hopping on the Cam Newton bandwagon, but I'm not so sure about that myself. Anyway, so the Packers need help in linemen and linebackers, but I think for this sake it's a matter of best player up on the board. So they'll be having to take they're going to have to take Shaq Lawson. I think that they need help with the linemen to pressure the quarterback. You have Julius Peppers, sure, but that guy's going to drop at some point, and it's only a matter of time. So next up, the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they're saying they need a QB for the sake of a backup, and they could take Paxton Lynch, but I don't think they will. They're not going to take a QB that isn't a possible franchise one just yet. So probably they might go for a Cardell Jones. And honestly, whoever I think takes Cardell Jones and they already have a good quarterback that can last them a few years, I think they could be a sneaky winner of the draft in a few years. So with that in mind, I have them actually I'm actually going to have them taking a linebacker as well if I could find one. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. They're going to take Darren Lee, because some people have been projecting them to get a corner, but I'm thinking, you got Marcus Peters last year. You don't need another corner. Your defense is ferocious. If anything, I would work more on the offense, but I can't see any running backs. Or not running backs, I can't see any wide receivers that they could use, because quite frankly, they're fine with running backs thanks to Jamal Charles. A wide receiver would be nice, though. So, next are the Cardinals. The Cardinals are honestly in a best player available situation. I have them taking Chris Jones. Chris Jones will do very well for them, I think. Chris Jones or Jaron Reed, honestly, because they need help on the lineman side to pressure the quarterback. And this guy will at least stop the run against running back teams, which they're going to run into some as well, I believe. So the Panthers, they need help on offense more than defense, if you ask me. But after seeing their defense, their front line, get manhandled by the Broncos, I've got to say they're going to get Jaron Reed. Or no, excuse me, they're going to get Vernon Butler. They're going to get Vernon Butler, and that will at least help them against run-heavy teams and also pressuring the quarterback. Now, last but not least, this is the one everyone's watching. I have the Broncos. Now, this one's situational. If they get Colin Kaepernick, they won't draft Paxton Lynch. But right now, I'm assuming they're not. News says they are, but I don't know. So they're going to get Paxton Lynch, I think, to close off the first round. I see them getting Paxton Lynch, and that's how it's going to end. But if they don't get him, I see them getting Derrick Henry. But that depends. If they get Colin Kaepernick, they're going to like, okay, we got two quarterbacks, maybe we'll draft one later and put him in reserve. But for now, let's get best player available. They're going to go for a running back to go along with C.J. Anderson. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. So yeah, I'm probably going to try to cut that down a bit. So yeah, here's my first round. So let's go over everyone. Laramie Tunsil, Carson Wentz, Miles Jack, Jalen Ramsey. Alright, let me say that again. Let's go with the teams. Titans get Laramie Tunsil. Browns get Carson Wentz. Chargers get Miles Jack. Cowboys get Jalen Ramsey. Jaguars get Leonard Floyd. Ravens get Ronnie Stanley. Broncos. 49ers get Jared Goff. Eagles get Ezekiel Elliott. Buccaneers get Vernon Hargreaves. The Giants get DeForest Buckner. Bears get Reggie Ragland. Saints get Joey Bosa. Dolphins get Jack Conklin. Raiders get Jalen Smith. Rams get Laquan Treadwell. Lions get Ashawn Robinson. Falcons get Kevin Dodd. Colts get Cody Whitehair. Bills get Will Fuller. Jets get Harry Hunter. Washington football team, almost said their name, will get Robert. I can't say his last name. Texans will get Corey Coleman. Vikings will get Josh Doxson. Bengals will get Sheldon Rankins. Steelers will get Andrew Billings. Seahawks will get Raven Clark. Packers will get Shaq Lawson. Chiefs will get Darren Lee. Cardinals will get Chris Jones. Panthers will get Vernon Butler. And this one's situational. If the Broncos get Kaepernick, they'll get Derrick Henry. But if they don't, they'll get Paxton Lynch. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this first mock draft. You'll probably see. I want to do 3, but expect another one before the draft. If not, yeah, you're going to see another one at some point in the future. So yeah, that'll do it. This was nice. I'll try this again, and for the sake of the tiebreaker that's on this draft will take 4 hours and 35 minutes. And I think I predicted a trade. I predicted one trade, which will be the Eagles trade up to either the Jaguars or the Ravens to try to steal Jared Goff, but I don't think that'll happen. Or the 49ers will trade up to the Ravens or the Jaguars to get Jared Goff. One of these two is going to try to trade up to get Goff. If not, you'll hear about it at least. So, yeah. Anyway, that'll do it. I will see you guys later.